A child was found unresponsive inside a home in Maidenhead. He was just 4 years old. A woman was taken into custody that same evening, and now she's been charged with one of the most serious crimes imaginable. It was the evening of Tuesday, June 10th, when police and emergency services were called to a residential address in Dunholm End, Maidenhead. The call came in just before nightfall. Officers arrived quickly. What they found inside that home was deeply distressing. A 4-year-old child, unresponsive. Despite the best efforts of paramedics at the scene, the child was sadly pronounced deceased. The home was immediately secured. Investigators marked it as a potential crime scene, and within hours, a woman who lived at that address was taken into custody. The atmosphere in the neighborhood shifted. What began as a quiet summer evening had now turned into the beginning of a serious investigation, one that would soon make national headlines. At the heart of this case is a young child only 4 years old. His identity has not been officially released by police, and out of respect for the family, details about him remain private. But what's clear is that he was deeply loved. Officers confirmed that his next of kin were notified immediately, and specialist support was provided to help them through the unimaginable. No school photos, no birthdays left to celebrate. Just silence now in a home that once held the laughter of a little boy. Police have asked the public not to speculate and to let the investigation run its course. For the community of Maidenhead, this is more than a news story. It's the loss of a young life, one that had barely begun. The woman arrested at the scene was identified as 37-year-old Akanksha Adivarekar. She lived at the same address where the child was found. Thames Valley Police confirmed that she was taken into custody on the same evening as the discovery, and following several days of investigation, she was formally charged with murder. Little is known about her background at this stage. Police have not publicly confirmed her relationship to the child, and no further personal details have been released. What is clear is that she is now the sole person facing legal proceedings in this case. She is set to appear in front of a judge at Reading Magistrates Court. The hearing is scheduled for Thursday, June 19th. From that moment forward, this case will begin its legal journey, and every word spoken in that courtroom will be watched closely by a public still reeling from the loss of a child. After the child was found, the home in Dunholm End was immediately sealed off. Officers established a full scene watch, and forensic teams entered to begin the delicate process of gathering evidence. Neighbors described seeing police vehicles parked along the normally quiet street, with a sense of shock spreading quickly through the community. No visible damage, no signs of a break-in, but something had clearly happened inside that home, something serious enough to launch a full-scale investigation. Forensic specialists worked late into the evening, collecting samples, documenting the interior, and looking for any clues that could help explain what led to the child's death. Everything from digital devices to household items may now be considered part of the evidence chain. At this point, the public doesn't know what, if anything, was discovered. But behind closed doors, investigators are working to connect the timeline to understand what happened in the final hours before police arrived. Just hours after the child was found, Akanksha Adivarekar was taken into custody. For several days, she remained under investigation while police worked through the early stages of the case. Then came the charge. She was formally charged with one count of murder, not manslaughter, not negligence, but murder, a charge that signals the Crown Prosecution Service believes there is sufficient evidence to proceed to trial under the most serious classification. Her first court appearance was scheduled for Thursday, June 19th at Reading Magistrates Court. There, the formal charges were read out and the legal process officially began. No plea was entered at that stage, and the case was expected to be passed to a higher court due to the severity of the allegation. It's a moment that marks a shift from investigation into the public arena of justice. From this point on, every step will unfold under the eyes of the law, the press, and the public. With a charge as serious as murder, the question on everyone's mind is the same why. What could possibly have happened inside that home to lead to the death of a 4-year-old child? At this stage, investigators have not released any details about a possible motive. There has been no public statement regarding mental health, family dynamics, or prior incidents. Police have urged the public not to speculate, and for good reason. This is still an active legal matter, and any assumptions could interfere with the pursuit of justice. What we do know is this: the decision to bring a murder charge was not made lightly. It followed days of evidence gathering, interviews, and expert review. But beyond the charge itself, the emotional weight of the question why remains unanswered. It's a question the court may explore in the months ahead. For now, all we can do is wait. Thames Valley Police have described the case as exceptionally tragic and confirmed that the investigation is still in its early stages. Since the night of June 10th, detectives have been working steadily behind the scenes, piecing together what led up to the child's death. Forensic teams have spent days examining the home. Every room, every item, every possible trace is being reviewed to build a timeline. Officers are also likely analyzing phone records, messages, internet activity, and any previous reports connected to the address. Witnesses in the area have been approached. Neighbors are being spoken to. If there were signs, any warning that something was wrong, they're being searched for now. Detectives are building a picture hour by hour, looking for patterns or moments that could offer clarity. Police have emphasized that there is no wider threat to the public, but they remain focused on ensuring every detail in this case is handled with care. The goal is simple: truth supported by evidence delivered in court. In the days since the arrest, the neighborhood of Dunholm End has fallen quiet. Flowers have appeared near the property. Some neighbors avoid walking past. Others have left notes of sympathy for a family now forever changed. The house itself, once an ordinary home, is now a site of deep loss, a place that will never be looked at the same way again. For the people of Maidenhead, this case is more than a headline. It's the heartbreaking reality that tragedy can strike anywhere, even in the calmest of places. The death of a child always sends a ripple through the community. But when that death happens inside a home, and when charges of this gravity are involved, it becomes something heavier, a story no one wants to believe is real. As for the legal side, the case will now move through the court system. The first hearing was just the beginning. In the coming weeks, prosecutors will begin presenting their evidence. Defense lawyers will begin building their case, and slowly a fuller picture may begin to emerge. But make no mistake, this will not be fast. Cases involving child fatalities are handled with the utmost caution. Every word, every fact, every file will be reviewed before trial. And even then, not every question may be answered. What remains now is silence. A 4-year-old boy is gone. A woman stands accused. And the community waits for justice, for answers, for something that might help make sense of a loss that feels impossible to understand. As the court proceedings continue, we'll follow the facts. We'll keep the focus where it belongs, on truth, on fairness, and above all, on the child whose life ended far too soon.